So Macadamian is a software product creation consultancy. We work with technology companies all around North America to help them create better products. So from a napkin sketch to a market-ready product, we do all of the software engineering and design activities in between. And so typically the services that we will be providing will drive the market adoption of a given product because it meets the user needs better. The one sentence that we like to use often about what we are is we help software companies create successful products successfully. Well, we're all about innovation, flexibility, and collaboration. So our people really have to be creative and innovative. And then, at the end of the day, we need to work with our customers as much as we can in order to meet their needs. And at even in those exercises, we need to actually be able to speak our mind in the context of what can be done or what should be done, in order to advise or be the trusted advisor that our customers are really looking for. We're experts in product creation, services and product creation. So sometimes, what our users or our customers are thinking may not be the right way to go about it. So lots of diplomacy, lots of ability to communicate clearly, lots of abilities to be able to message bad news just like good news to our customers. The feedback loop with our customers is something that we pride ourselves on because we're very, very transparent. Everything that is going through the shop, good news or bad news, must be communicated to our customers ASAP because they're always working on tight deadlines and they always have tons of pressure. And in order to course correct, we have to be able to be on the spot all the time with our customers. Well, I gotta tell you here. It's not as if 2009 is the best of years kind of thing for us. It's actually a very difficult year with given the economy and everything. And the tough times are when you're being really, really tested. When your company is growing like we've been growing since we've been in business kind of thing in 1997. We've had bumps along the way, like 2001, 2002 were really serious bumps, and now we're in 2009, and that's another very serious bumps. We are experiencing lots of challenges, and so morale-wise, I would suspect that people are very anxious and wondering what's going on with this economy and the world in general, And so as such, what we try to do, and I certainly hope it works, knock on wood, it's to communicate better, making an effort to be even more transparent. We've always been practicing here at Macadamian what we call an egoless culture. So, you're the CEO, but at the end of the day, people should feel comfortable talking to you, and I'm hopeful that this is a message that people are getting. So we do town halls very often. Every 2 weeks we're in a town hall, and we try to give an update on what's going on, and we actually open it up for people to ask questions. We also communicate what our next steps are in the context of where we think or where we want to go with the strategy, what are the next steps concretely, tactically speaking, that we're taking in order to turn around the corner faster with the economy.
Okay. And I see from your lounge upstairs that you also have some opportunities for staff to let out some steam and relax on the site.
Absolutely. It's important for people to feel comfortable in their work environment, especially in the tech business. You deal with people who are highly creative, you deal with people who are paid for what's in their head, and you need to bring the best out of them. So sometimes being able to flip the switch off in the context of work and just go out and shoot the breeze in the lounge, play a Wii game or a foosball game will get your creative juice going again when you go back to your desk.
How do you regularly evaluate them, provide feedback to make sure things are staying on course, or address anything if things seem to be going a little off course?
It's a great question. As to how we evaluate our staff and how we work things out on that aspect is that we have everyone evaluate obviously the people that are reporting to them, but the people reporting are also evaluating their managers, so that we actually kind of have a 360 going on. So, and all of the managers' reviews are actually also evaluated by their peers, or feedback from their peers is gathered as to how they're performing and how they're handling the difficult or issues that made out of their daily jobs is very important for us to understand. So it's a biannually process with lots of time in between on one-on-one discussions where we try to course correct and improve on things that we need to improve either at the management level or at the employee level. And given the times that we're going through right now, I believe that this time is even more important than before. I think.
Yeah. So clear communication.
Yeah.
Continuously remains a key thing, even more important than now.
Oh yeah, people feel anxious, they feel uncertain, and lots of things are happening, lots of changes, and someone once told me that people aren't afraid of change. They're anxious. They're afraid of the unknown. So once you can clear out the unknown, they stop. We as human likely will stop imagining the worst and then start acting on what that means to enable this change. I think it's your own belief system has to be really tuned to the success of what your goal, what you wanna achieve, and taking in context that we are a heavy people business here. It means making sure that the people that we work with are again listened to and in a good place. We've won the OBJ award for employers, top 10 employers for 3 years in a row. We cannot even submit this year because we've won it for 3 years, but it's been through lots of effort that we were able to achieve this. And the biggest success I could have is if we were able to submit this year, in this tough year, that we would still win it. I'd be really thrilled by this. Because people right now are in a very difficult space or spot, I should say, and we're working hard at making sure or enabling them to share their concerns. So creating that culture where it's safe to bring up stuff, tough, difficult issues is one key takeaway that I would like people to have. Making sure that you hire the best, and that's really a cliche here. Hiring the best, yeah, sure. Well, what does that mean? Sometimes it means, okay, who are they going to be dealing with, the people that you hire, and what kind of jobs are you expecting from them, and having this crystal clear picture in your mind of what the top 3 qualifications or abilities are for that type of person is really key. And too often, especially in the tech business, the top one, I mean, obviously it's going to be among the top 3, but then we think technical savviness, like the ability to really be good technically speaking. Well, how good is this if the person cannot interact with the rest of the team? Or how good is this if this people is actually draining the morale of the team all the time? In business they say that you have 80% of the people will follow the leaders, and the leaders are either the bottom 10 of your organization or the top 10 of your organizations, and you want the people to follow the top 10 of your organization, right? So the people you hire, the stars or whatever that you will develop as stars, you want them to be in the top 10, because otherwise they can be a negative influence. So how do you actually make sure and enable those people to become the stars? Starts with your hiring process, and then continuously listening and nurturing them toward where you believe they will contribute the most. You too believe where they contribute the most, and having this dialogue for you and them to sync up on what is best now. What you hired them for 2 years ago may not be best anymore, and where can they grow elsewhere in your organization. When times are tough, this is when people's beliefs gets put to test, and how you handle those times is very important. And you as a leader, me in this case, the job is not easy. You really have to be do your best at being energetic and still be listening to people. And it's very difficult, because at the end of the day you have to make sales, you have to make ends meet, you have to do everything the way you did before, but it's a lot more work than it used to. So instead of making 5 calls to close that deal that you were working on, you need to make like 15. So elsewhere in your life it takes a hit. How do you keep this going? Because people are still there, and now in this time they're actually imagining the worse and worse and worse every time. You need to be there and present in order to be able to communicate and give the answers that they're looking for, try to anyway give the answers. So staying the course in this tough time is really the biggest challenge